Hi guys, Michelle here from Andalery Gardens. It's a beautiful day today. It's a Sunday. We're expecting quite a bit of rain tomorrow and the next day. I want to get some fruit trees in the ground. I'm new to fruit. I'm not clued up when it comes to the food side of things, well, growing food. So this is going to be, this has been a umming and ahhing situation for quite a long time, planning, contemplating what to do, where to do, how to do it, and I'm not even sure if I'm still doing the right thing, but I'm just going to go ahead and plant these because I've had these fruit trees now probably last year. They've been just in bags for a long time. Last year, maybe early the beginning of the year. But in any case, it's been months and months and months that I've had the fruit trees in the bags, just procrastinating. Should I group evergreens all together? Like, do I plant the mangoes and the guavas and that kind of thing all together? Or do I just intermingle them as I've done now? Well, that's kind of what I've decided to do with the deciduous. So we've just got a mixture of deciduous and evergreen. So yeah, where you see everything there, that's where I want to plant them. So I've sort of kept them in rows, playing with the idea of what do they call it? Syntropic agroforestry, which is kind of sort of like a bit of permaculture, but they plant the stuff in rows, but then like very close together. So maybe I'll look at that down the line, maybe not. Maybe I just leave them as fruit trees in a grassed area, from the point of view of down the line, if there's grandkids or whatever and they are playing, just to give them a bit more space to run around on grass between trees and things like that. So let me sort of pan you in from a different view. So I want to do the fruit trees all there. So I want to keep a bakkie must be able to, a bakkie or a big truck must be able to drive all the way up and to there where the jungle gym is. I want to keep a car size road open all the way kind of up to the house. So I just want to plant the fruit trees this side, and then I might plant a few more here. Maybe at this bottom section. Yeah, I do have a prickly pear plant that I want to put in, and some dragon fruit, and there's also a speckworm. So maybe they will come there with grapes and things like that. But I have to wrap my head around what kind of support grapes need and that sort of thing. And then, yeah, this is my log creature. He kind of reminds me of a bit of a Rastafarian Pumbaa bush pig with these two tusks over there. I had those two pieces of wood were lying on the ground, but the grass makes lots of nonsense out there, and then I sort of did that as his chest and his arm, and then that's his belly section, and there's another, that over there is his other leg, and then sort of a tail section. But you can see it's overrun. I actually made this section here sort of like a seat part. That's oreganum over there. Not very happy oreganum, but maybe I need to just feed it and mollycoddle it and maybe get another one there. The weeds were overrun there as well. So that was supposed to be like a little bit of a seat part. And then behind here I need to plant something like a little hedge of something to block out, because the dogs just hop up and then hop over, which is not going to work, as I want the dogs to stay out of the veggie garden, which I'm going to be doing there. I want to keep the dogs out. So I need to plant a little hedge over there. I haven't decided yet what, but maybe like a rosemary hedge, something that smells nice if one is sitting on the oregano, and then you've got this hedge, or possibly even a lavender, just something that's tight enough and dense enough to keep the dogs from hopping over. So I do need to look at this area to get rid of all of the grass, yeah, and maybe put like something like mint or something like that that won't grow up into the logs. And so those two big stumps there were like sort of a table kind of thing if we did want to come out and sit here and you've got a cup of coffee or whatever. Okay, the one is very skew, but I might move those two just to this side, yeah, for another seat. And then I've got there's a big tire which is directly in the path of where a vehicle would need to drive, so I do want to bring that big tire and just pop that over here by the bench part, and then just fill it up with soil and something low growing in there, maybe like a mint. Is it like a Corsican mint or something like that, that's very flat? And then maybe I can put a glass slightly raised, or what, just something that's flat on in there that you can still put a tray on, or maybe I can put a slab in there or something like that, so you've got a more solid surface. So that's sort of the idea. Yeah, and then one would need to come around this tree and then around this whole stump section, so that we don't have to worry about grass growing up and in. And then, okay, if you get from this angle, that's where the compost is. We did do a compost zone video, a few. So obviously there will be a road here, and then the road will go there. And then let me go a little bit further. There in the distance where the Melaleucas end, the driveway will come. Behind the Melaleucas is the labyrinth. So the driveway will come from here. Let me pan around. It'll come by. There's the fruit trees, and then it'll just run off there and into the distance. So I have 2 nectarines. I've got 2 nectarines, and I've got a mango tree that I want to plant. And then this is the mango here. I'm not sure what variety of mango that is. It's a Kent variety. It says this is a large oval mango with a dark red blush over. A small portion of mango, juicy and tender with limited fibers, which is also good because the fibers in the mangoes are not so cool. So we've got a mango tree, we have a guava tree, and I think that's another nectarine. And then I've got 2 prunes. This is a nectarine, that's a prune, and then that's a prune. I've tried to sort of scatter them so that I don't have 2 of the same next to one another, because I do kind of want to follow a bit of permaculture, or like I said, the agroforestry syntropic. I will look at that down the line. I need to wrap my head around other stuff first, the rest of the garden, but the fruit trees need to get in. I did have fruit trees here before, as you can see there where that is. I had an apricot, and we had a peach over here. The peach is still alive, but the top part has died, and it sprouted from the below the graft point. So I don't know what kind of peach this will be. Obviously whatever the root stock was. So I do want to move this, because this is now obviously not in the line. I want to move that to that area over there. then I know I've got a clear and open pathway between these trees to there where the Plectranthus is in the distance, where that opening is. That goes into the blue and purple garden. So we've got access from the blue and purple garden in a direct line to the compost zone. So it's all about the flow of traffic for me, so that nothing is blocked and we can get to the compost area as quick as possible when the time comes for pruning and weeding and that sort of thing. So I'm not going to put compost in these holes. I'm putting super phosphate in just to help with root development, as I want these trees to get used to to this native soil. They not to mollycoddle them. Obviously I'll need to water them and feed them and things like that, but I'm not going to be putting compost in the hole. I'm just going to plant them directly in with a bit of super phosphate. These ones, yeah, the apricot died. I had peaches in the labyrinth as well, but we had the big rains about a year or two back when there was about 1,000 mil, and there was a lot of, yeah, there was lots of water. This area was very mushy as well, so hence now I realize I need to plant these trees higher so that they are more safeguarded. That's why I sort of moved them slightly further back and not in this line, as it's the ground sits slightly higher, sort of on the verge of the dam wall. I have got little mounds soil where some of the my markers are. Okay, well there I moved. That shows you how I chopped and changed all the time. But there's heaps of ground, yeah, which I'll just, so that I can lift the fruit trees up so that they're slightly raised above ground level. So let's get cracking and we'll plant some fruit trees. Okay, so we're all done for the day. Hopefully we'll get lots and lots of rain, which will just really like settle the trees in. So I've planted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fruit trees today. I do still have some grapevines, which, yeah, that we'll leave for another video. I'll have to put poles or some form of structure up for that. But I'm quite pleased. It was a bit difficult digging the grass out to get the fruit trees planted. Bit of back-breaking work. Would have liked to have gotten the few others in, but all in all I'm quite pleased with what we've got in. I do need to go and trim all the the growth that's below the graft point. This is the graft point there. If anything grows from below the graft point, then that is rootstock, which then is not the same as what's on the rest of the tree. So hence I need to cut this off, even though this does look very, very similar. So I need to cut that off, and then I'll cut a few of the lower ones off, so that we've just got the growth at the top. This is a prune. This says Van der Merwe. Now I got a prune and another plum from the market. Now they both say Van der Merwe, but when I bought them, the one definitely looked different, so I thought maybe it was just marked incorrectly. So I'm hoping that one is a plum and one is a prune. So I do need to cut the growth off of that. Most of them have a little bit of growth at the bottom. This is a nectarine, starting to bud out at the top, which I'm quite pleased. So I need to again cut all of this off below the graft point. Let's go around the other way. There's the graft point over there. So I need to cut all this off, and then I'll just cut these lower ones off as well. This nectarine is flavor top. Not sure. I'll maybe just Google again as to exactly sort of fruiting times and things like that, and I can always update you in later videos on that. And then this is the other prune, or I'm hoping plum. This is also Van der Merwe, but I'm hoping that either the other one is not a Van der Merwe and this one is, but yeah, we'll see when the growth comes at the top. It is still alive. It just seems there's a little bit of a bud over there sort of coming out. So I'm quite pleased to see what those leaves look like. They definitely did look different, but that leaf there at the bottom does look the same as the other one, but that is below the graft point. And then there's the mango. That's a Kent mango. That's a large mango with not fibrous, as I was saying earlier on. And then this is a peach. This is the peach that was over there in that gap that I have filled up. I just moved that back so that it was let me move out of so my shadow doesn't make nonsense. I moved it so that it's in line with the rest of the fruit trees. So with this one, obviously now the original died with the flood, and then all the rootstock sprouted. So I'm going to train one of these rootstock into a tree and let one of them grow, and hopefully it'll be a nice one. I'm not sure, but I'm just using it as an experimental one. And then what else? There we've got a guava. That's a guava tree. Shame the guava tree got a bit dry, so the guava tree wasn't a happy camper when it was in the bags, and I wasn't very religious with the watering, so at least now it's in the ground. And I'll just cut off, I think these are dead, I'll just cut off the dead bits, and again also remove the growth at the bottom so that we can keep the stem clear. And then we've got another nectarine. Same thing again, there's growth below the graft. There's the graft over there, and this one is called Fiesta Red. So this is a different nectarine to the other. If you have two different fruit trees but they have to be compatible, then you get more fruit. So yes, all in all, it's been a productive day. I do still have a quince which I want to put in, and I've got a loquat. The loquat I might need to put somewhere over there on that side, and I still want to get maybe apricots, which I'll also possibly put somewhere over there. The quince, I was contemplating putting the quince over here. Obviously it needs to be in line with these ones. So this is clivia. Not sure exactly which clivia this is. I know it's not a miniata, so it could be Ifafa or nobilis. So this flowers at a different time as the nobilis does. So I need to move this under the tree somewhere, because you can see how the leaves are burning. It's not a happy camper. This is a bad spot for them. As you'll see if you did look at the video on the Indobushi open day, the clivias, they need to be under trees. That's where they're happy and they look beautiful. So I want to move these to under the tree, and when this lot is gone, then I'll be able to plant the quince, I think somewhere. I might even be able to plant the quince now, but yeah, the quince will need to go somewhere. So the quince will be sort of in line with that. That's a eugenia, sort of opposite the eugenia, but that eugenia, maybe I should cut it shorter so it can maybe make a smaller bush. The eugenia also gets berries. Well, we don't really eat it. As a kid we used to eat lots of it, my siblings and I, and the friends that we would play with, we would eat it. We've got lots of berry hedges along the driveway of this. They make a beautiful hedge. So I might cut that a little bit smaller so that the berries are accessible at an easier height. You can see it's going to come into flowers soon. They get a beautiful white, sort of fluffy white flowers, and the berries are quite a bright pink color. So I'll be making that a little bit shorter. So all in all, been a good day, and I am quite pleased that I've got the first lot of fruit trees in, and my food growing journey should hopefully begin, and we can get this composting and veggie growing, potato growing, that kind of thing sort of underway. So I feel at least the fruit trees are a start. In another video then I will take you through sort of my ideas and layout for the veggie garden over on that side. But I want to say thank you to you guys for watching, and hopefully I've given you a bit of advice here and there, and you can learn from my mistakes, or leave me comments if you see I'm doing things wrong and maybe there's better ways of doing things. Gardening is very much a journey, and I move things around a lot until I feel it's right. But with things like fruit trees, one doesn't really want to be moving things like that. So I'm hoping that the way I've laid them out, they will have sufficient space and not crowd one another. One can plant the fruit trees closer, then they're just not as productive. So I might still look at doing that kind of thing down the line, but for now this is good as it is. I've got these trees spaced about 5.5 meters, say 5.5 meters apart, which I'm feeling is sufficient. I feel I don't want to let the trees grow too big that to harvest the fruit becomes a mission. So I will try and stay on top of the pruning, that's another thing I will have to learn, as I'm not clued up on that sort of thing as well. But thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.